YouTube, what's poppin'? So, today we've got a 1969 Ford Bronco. This is the original windshield frame, to my knowledge. Um, the reason we're removing, as you can see, there's rust. I think I counted, I don't know, 30 spot welds. I started drilling a few of them. Some of the key tools to have, I'm just using a corded drill because I don't know, it's a little bit more powerful. And to be honest, my cordless drill is broken. It literally just took a crap. So, one of the tools you'll need is they make a spot weld cutter for 10 bucks. And you can put it on a drill, whether it be air or electric or cordless. Here's my bits. I got two different packs of 3/8 and 1/4 inch. Um, when you're drilling spot welds, it's always good to use a center punch as a guide. So you center punch your hole. So if you guys don't know what that means, this guy, you just use it with a hammer. So I placed it, in the center of where I want to drill. And I'll tap that with a hammer just to give me a small little hole, as you can see there. And with my drill, I'll place that center point right in that guide, and I'll slowly start it. And then it's going to get a little loud, but you'll see. You can see it's slowly cutting through it. It's about halfway there. And you'll notice it will make a small clunk when it's all said and done. Sometimes a piece of the metal will stay on there, so I'll just take a pick and just pull it off, or some pliers. Sometimes if you just run the drill and pull it. Anyways, enough about that. To remove this windshield frame, I'm drilling out all the spot welds. You need to locate them all. Use the center punch. What happens if you don't use the center punch? You either have to be really good with that index, and you need to, see how that came right out. Try to start it with that punch. And I was able to get a couple of them this way, but see how I was able? It's starting to walk. So for me, I'd much rather just punch it and then have a nice guide just so I can drill it quick. And it helps you locate them all too. I was counting on each side, and there's between 20 and 24. Here's the new frame right here. This was ordered through a very reputable website. The owners had bought it. It's probably $500 or $600. It's definitely high quality. It looks like all the welds are decent. The metal was cleaned proper. We won't know how it fits until it's in. And this was a soft top rig, and it's going to hard top. So step one, drill spot welds. You'll use a small index. Once all the spot welds are drilled, I have a tap and a hammer, and I'll slowly pry the metal up, and I'll get my friend on the other side, because this is definitely a little heavy, and him and I will pull it off. There's still a couple items to remove. That would probably help. I left that one on so I could drop the windshield all the way down. The reason which, if this windshield was up, I couldn't get to the spot welds. Also, the wiring harness for the windshield wipers. I noticed I tried to pull it through. Someone had done some butt connectors on here. The hole is a little too small for this. I get nervous with these connectors with the age. So I'll go ahead and just snip it. I've got some nice weatherproof, some heat shrink, and some really nice pliers. And so I'll redo that connector, and then I'll pull the harness through. Once this is removed, we'll clean all the metal with the die grinder and sand it out to 150. We'll set the new frame on and we'll clamp it down. We'll clamp it as good as I can. We'll put the windshield up where it should be positioned, and then we'll set the hardtop on it and see how the gaps are. No sense of welding it in until we know how everything is seated properly. Also, before you remove it, you just want to take a marker, some tape. I usually using just yellow tape, and I'll just notice where it's currently sitting. I'll measure this all the way across and just compare it to the new one, because the new one might be off. It could be off a 1/4 inch, it could be off a 1/2 inch. We won't really know until we get this one off and compare it. So that's how you drill spot welds. You know, $20 drill, $10 bit. You can get these punches at Home Depot, miners, get a decent hammer with a little bit of weight and just start on one side, and it will probably take 30 seconds to a minute per spot weld. So I've got at least a half hour worth of drilling, and then once my buddy cruises over in a bit, him and I will attempt to remove it. If I need to take my little my hammer, my wedge, I'll put it on this side and I'll start spreading the metal. Sometimes you can put a drill bit in here and you can open up these holes with just a little bit larger bit to remove any of the metal in here. That's because it was welded, so any of that surrounding metal that needs to be bored out, and then we'll go from there. Over and out.